Okay, so, well, they lost. We'll talk about it. Episode 622 here of the podcast. Welcome to BD4. Yeah, I mean, it's just one loss. It was bound to happen. The Knicks were on a 9-game win streak. Going to be a little more reasonable than I was initially because I'm recording this the usual time. We usually wait till the night after because of that. So, who cares? Whatever. It's going to be okay. There's, still some things to discuss, which we will dive into a little bit here on episode 622 of BD4. I'm not sure how long this episode is going to be, but we will talk on the important stuff. So without further ado, let's dive into our intro and get into episode 622 of the podcast BD4. Let's go. Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, RJ Carbone. You are listening to BD4, where there's no better way to get your Yankees and Knicks analysis. We also do MMA. Yanks every series, Knicks every game, MMA on occasion. Let's get to it.
Anthony for three. Bang! That one goes down, and the game is tied.
I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
The Yankees are champions of baseball. Shaking and baking. Right here on the neophyte.
U.S. trying to close the show.
She was doing a great job of feeding.
That is
It's over. Don't you regret not coming to the Knicks? Don't you regret not coming to the Knicks? Game over. World Series over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
Oh, Marlon me, a fungal. Man, that is, I hate very few teams, no matter how I act, very few teams I actually hate. The Indiana Pacers and the Miami Heat are 1 and 2, kind of interchangeable. The Boston Celtics are 3, and then I think the Lakers might be right there. I hate losing to them. It's not even like the whole LeBron thing, although that is annoying. But it's just I don't like Los Angeles. I don't like that side of I don't like the West Coast. And LA in particular, I just always have I hate the Dodgers and I hate the Lakers. Just the two, the other LA teams no one really cares about, but I hate the Lakers and I hate losing to them. But the Knicks lost to them. But it's okay. The Knicks did beat them earlier in the season. They beat them on Paper Champion Night where they got their banner. So that was nice. They got that out of the way when they were healthy. And I think the Knicks at full strength can beat a lot of teams. And I don't think the Lakers are a team I'm afraid of when the Knicks are at full strength. But it sucked to lose regardless. To the Lakers, 113-105 at the Garden last night. They get off to a start where it's competitive. Brunson's hot early. Dante had some ups and downs on both ends, but he did knock down a couple threes. And the Knicks went into the second down 2 points. Second quarter comes. The Knicks were hurt early on a couple of three-pointers, and the offense was struggling without Brunson. It was pretty tough. Brunson checks in. He starts scoring. He kind of gets the Knicks back into the game, and it's 59-59 at the half. Third quarter comes. The Knicks get some momentum. But then LeBron James gets hot because he's LeBron James. Then the Knicks get momentum again. You got some huge stops on the defensive end. Brunson hits a late three-pointer. And the Knicks are up 6 points going into the fourth. But the fourth quarter comes, and all fell apart. The Knicks could not score. Anthony Davis became a problem. And they lose this game once again, 113-105. To the Lakers last night at Madison Square Garden. So it sucked. I was very pissed off at this loss. Very few times will I turn off the TV at the end of the game. I missed the final 2 minutes. During that drought where they couldn't score a single point, yeah, I turned it off with a couple of minutes left because I just couldn't take it anymore. It really just it bothered me. And the offense was an issue. And listen, first of all, credit to Anthony Davis, because AD's presence in the middle last night was a big reason that the Knick offense was so ineffective and inefficient. Any penetrator that got to the basket was either blocked or contested very well, or they feared him down there, so they were forced to kick out to a non-shooter. And our big men had a tough time down there. Precious had a difficult time finishing over AD. Isaiah Hartenstein did not have a good night. He was brutal, missing a lot of bunnies and shots with AD right there. AD is dangerous, and they couldn't contain him in the middle last night. I don't know what the final numbers were, but defensively he was a menace. And when he's locked in, when he's healthy, this is probably the best defensive player in the game. At least defensive big. Josh Hart was punished last night when he went down low and to a point where he started getting super hesitant. Now, if there's one thing that last night I told you, it's, okay, well, it tells you the obvious. The Knicks need OG Anunoby and Quentin Grimes healthy, and they need them soon. I don't know how much longer we can go without those two guys for as long as Randall sits, simply because of the shooting and the spacing that's needed for this offense to operate with them on the floor. That's what they bring. It's not just them knocking down shots, but it's them being out there so Brunson can actually fucking get to his spots and not have to do goddamn magic. I'm sure people saw the stat that ESPN threw out there at the end of the night. Brunson was doubled 30 times last night. 30 different plays. So those lineups where it's Josh Hart, Precious Achiuwa, and, insert, let's just say Jericho Sims here, those lineups starting next to Brunson, playing next to Brunson, let's hope those are short-lived. The Hart Precious lineups, let's hope we get that less, and it kills the spacing. There's just no shooting, so the defense clogs the paint, zone, blitz, play a box and one. You're seeing it all right now. They help on Brunson relentlessly. The second that Jalen Brunson entered the half court last night, boom, multiple bodies, size on him. You had AD in the back line. You had LeBron reigning free. You had Reeves who could attach to it. Brunson was trying as hard as possible to get switches and get the right matchups he wanted, but he couldn't because the Lakers were fully okay with ignoring Precious and Hart. If Josh Hart's on the strong side with Brunson, his man's coming up to trap and hedge off those Brunson screens. Then he's got to give it up to, three non-shooters around him if he can't find Dante quick enough. So I thought, especially in the second half, Darvin Ham did a nice job of bringing backline help onto Brunson. And you saw more box-in-one defense. And in the first three quarters, Brunson was still able to beat the hedge because of his incredible footwork off the dribble. But the second half comes, he had to work much harder because of the pressure that the Lakers were putting on him, with Hart being as much of a liability as he was. And when it comes down to Josh Hart just needing to shoot it with more confidence, that's been a season-long theme. Maybe he's gun-shy from the Miami series still last year, but especially in those lineups where you have Josh Hart with Precious and Sims, their defenders are already in the paint. So Josh Hart can't be doing that pump fake drive shit. That's just not going to work. And then it's at the same time, you want him to shoot it with confidence. Well, at the same time, a bad shooter is a bad shooter. And that's just it's just a flat out problem. You can't have a guard who can't shoot. And I love the dude. I too, man. The energy he brings, the defense, the rebounding, the tempo he plays at. getting the Knicks out on the break all the time. Love the chemistry he's got with the Nova Knicks. He's hilarious. He started a podcast with Brunson today. I cannot wait for that. And I'll take it a step further. Like, I even thought Josh Hart was having himself a solid game. He had a very solid Josh Hart-esque type game for about 3 quarters. Again, he was pushing the tempo a lot. Great hustle, great defense, rebounding. There was another hustle play where he gets after a loose ball along the baseline. That's kind of becoming a signature with him. But go watch that fourth quarter. Watch how the Lakers were able to contain the Knicks offense. It's the same exact way the Knicks lost that Miami Heat series. So I think the best way this works is Tibbs positions Hart weak side, so he's away from the action and he's not one pass over. This way the defense just can't help onto Brunson. Hart's the type of player where you really have to find the right lineups to get effective half-court offense. You know, you have to play Hart with one of Dante DiVincenzo or Quentin Grimes, plus OG, plus Hartenstein as your 5, not Jericho. Because at least with Isaiah Hartenstein, he drags the defense out of the paint a little bit since he's a passing threat and he's a threat to DHO. But these lineups where we have Josh Hart, Precious Jua, and Jericho Sims playing with Brunson, that is just not sustainable. A playoff defense is going to feed off of that, just like Miami did. And, you know, Tom Thibodeau is in love with size. So he's never going to play Dante DiVincenzo and Quentin Grimes together, because that means that one of them has to defend wing, and he simply just doesn't trust those 2 guys to defend above the 2-guard spot. That's something that he's never really adjusted. He doesn't trust them. And last night, people were complaining that down the stretch, they thought Tibbs should have pulled Hart for Deuce. But, like, the Lakers have a ton of size. That just wasn't going to work. Austin Reeves was running point guard. The kid's 6'6", 200. Like, okay, he's long, man. Like, Deuce isn't, that's just not going to work defensively, so I'm not going to blame him last night. But, yeah, so, like, when everybody's healthy, though, you're never going to get DiVincenzo, Grimes, Hart lineup trios, because Tibbs thinks their lack of size hurts the defense. And we, Knicks fans, think Hart's lack of shooting hurts the spacing, hurts the offense. And last season, Hart came in here in the regular season, and he had so much success. So for anyone asking, well, why is it different now? Because he was shooting an unrealistic, unsustainable 52% with the Knicks. He couldn't miss a 3. But now, that number's back down to his career norm. He's back into the 30% range. So when he's not running transition offense, and the offense, once it slows down into the half court like it will in the postseason, he becomes a major liability. That's why whenever I see these reports and these rumors that the Knicks are interested in Bruce Brown, I cringe, because you can only have so many Josh Harts. That's the same issue. Good player, does a lot of the intangibles, but he's a low efficiency, low volume 3-point shooter. He's not a 3-point shooter. And it's 2024, folks. You can only have so many shooting guards who can't shoot. And with Precious, it's the same thing regarding the spacing. Right now, without OG, he's the one playing the corner spacer role, which is not ideal. But the reason I'm pressing Josh Hart is because Precious is a power forward. He's not a guard. Precious is a throw-in piece in a deal. He's not on an $81 million extension. And when healthy, Precious Achiuwa isn't playing 30, 40 minutes for you. Hart still is, because, again, Tibbs doesn't trust any of his other 2 guards to play up at the 3 position and defend wing. So that's why I'm bringing it up. This was an issue last postseason, and it continues to be a problem since. So it's the spacing. And, it's another thing regarding the shooting. Brunson misses Randall at power forward badly. Like, Randall's gravity alone created so many open looks for Brunson on the three-point line. Randall draws 2 to the post. Brunson relocates on the perimeter, kick, bang. Or Randall driving kick to Brunson and catch and shoot. Not having Randall drawing the help is hurting Brunson's shot quality. Brunson without Julius Randle right now, he's been 25% on his threes. So the spacing's looking bad right now, and it's not going to continue to be this way once we get healthy. But that's like, we need these guys to get healthy, because without RJ and Quickly, and now without all these guys due to injury, Brunson has to do way too much right now, and it's just so taxing on him, and I don't know how sustainable it's going to be long term. And this was inevitable. Eventually, you were going to run into a game where a defense whose sole focus was going to be to stop Jalen Brunson, stop him from dropping 30, a defense that was going to double and rotate and make damn sure that Brunson wasn't going to generate offense as a scorer or a distributor. Ironically enough, Brunson's so amazing that even on a bad night last night, and I put quotes around that, he finishes with 36 and 10. Fucking the guy is amazing. But, watching that game, anybody who watched the game, it took him a hell of a lot of work to get there. So much on-ball creating from Jalen Brunson. He had to take 30-something shots, play a lot of minutes, dominate the ball. I don't think he sat 3 minutes in the game. And what happened in the game's most important moments? Well, Brunson and nobody else was able to score a single point for the final 7.5 minutes up until like the 40-second mark. So I actually thought the Knicks made the correct reads off the double last night, but having a bunch of bricklayers out there, a non-shooting shooting guard with a dual big lineup, it's not going to help this offense thrive. So that's why some of these injuries are concerning me. Like, the OG thing is a little concerning to me. He's got some injury history as it is. I think that he had elbow inflammation problems with Toronto in the past. I don't know that it's kept him out significant time, but, elbow inflammation, I don't know what to think of it. He's day-to-day right now. He's been day-to-day for an annoying amount of time now. I thought it was going to be precautionary at first because it was the back-to-back, but obviously not. And, the pessimism in me is wondering if the Knicks are waiting for good Randall news to drop first before letting us know something bad about OG. But the Randall situation at least seems like it's positive, it's still fluid, but it seems like they said he's rehabbing. They said 2 to 3 weeks, so that's before my timeline. He needs to come back though. Grimes, we're not hearing Grimes has had an injury history past too, but we've heard nothing progressive about how he's doing. The knees. Eye heart thing is concerning. The Achilles. I feel like if there's going to be another shooter drop, it might be that. I don't want him re-aggravating it. But yeah, and that's so for the people who didn't want to make a trade during this win streak, didn't want to make this team better and get good talent just because we were winning, it's a little delusional to me. Maybe that's harsh, but Brunson's going to wear the fuck out this way. Everyone's talking about who he's not going to play in the playoffs. This guy, Brunson's going to have no legs by the playoffs. So this helps you. If we go a month without Julius, maybe more, let's say he's out longer than people think, Brunson's going to get schemed this exact way for that amount of time without Julius. Dante's doing his very best He really is. He's having a time of his life shooting the ball right now. He's shooting away. He's dropping 25 every night. But, like, why wouldn't you at least want a Malcolm Brogdon to take pressure off these guys? In addition, I would like some size in the front court too, so we could maybe, just maybe, get less Josh Hart minutes and more minutes from Deuce, Dante, and Grimes, if Grimes is still around by then. Now, okay, again, do you want to say that in the playoffs when the rotation shrinks to 7, how does this guy we bring in play? I think he's playing less than he would in the regular season, but he's still going to get you 15 minutes. And I love Deuce McBride, but Malcolm Brogdon is also a physical defensive player, and he's a damn good scorer. He consistently gives you 15 to 20 points. He's a good ball handler. We need a ball handler. Deuce McBride's a wing. So my playoff rotation, I'm running the starters out there, Brunson, Dante, OG, Hart, Randall, I Hart, Randall. And then my bench unit, Brogdon, Josh Hart, and if Mitch is back, Mitch. And so that leaves you with the reserves who probably won't play or very sparingly if you need them, Deuce and Precious. I'm not letting Deuce McBride and Quentin Grimes be the reason I don't get the reigning 6th man of the year. And again, bigger picture-wise, you get Malcolm Brogdon. This is an asset you can flip later on. So if you're worried about the price, well, he's salary filler. He's making $22 million this year and next year. So that's tradable salary. So I just think I'm all for a trade between now and Thursday. We're going a month without Randall, folks. Like, why wouldn't you need as much help as possible? I hope this loss kind of brings people down to earth a little bit and tells them, hey, we might not just breeze through this thing like we thought we were gonna. We need space and we need help for Brunson. So, real quick, I'm not going to dive into it because we lost, but Brunson gets the game ball from the starting unit.
Bing bang.
Hate giving these outdoor losses, but 36 points, 6 boards, 10 assists. Shot 48%, 15 of 31, 17% from 3, 1 of 6, and he was 83%, 5 out of 6 at the free throw line. On the year, he's averaging 27, 4, and 7. He's been awesome. He's played in 48 of the 50 games. And he's got 21 game balls on the season, which is far and away the team leader. So Brunson gets the game ball. Miles Deuce McBride also gets a game ball from off the bench. Last night scored 10 points, couple rebounds and assist, knocked down a 3 out of 4 attempts. He was okay. And he's been playing well. Defense, offense. And that's now 7 game balls for Deuce McBride on the season. So he's playing well. He's earned his spot right now. And I think that's maybe it. We'll talk about, like we kind of touched on it last episode, about the LeBron thing. If you missed that show, we'll briefly run through it again. Why is the camera not focused? Let's head to our break, get back, and we'll talk a little more about that. Stay with us here on BD4.
We appreciate you sticking around and listening so far. When you have a chance, be sure to open YouTube to subscribe, like, and comment. And if you're already watching on YouTube, be sure to head over to Apple Podcasts and give us a 5-star review. We appreciate your feedback and are always looking to improve. Now, with that all said, let's get you back to the show. You can also find us on social media. If you'd like, you can follow BD4 on Facebook, and we're at BD4Pod on both Instagram and Twitter. We appreciate you helping us grow more and more every day. Let's get back to it.
Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, RJ Carbone. Why is our camera not focused? Am I, tripping? This is not focused. Let's see if we can figure this out. Bro. Hold on. Really? That's gonna bother me. I'm not going forward until I fix this. I'm gonna have to pause the recording for a second. There we go. Okay, we're good. Welcome back to the show. Okay. So CAA and Clutch Sports have mended fences. And now there's kind of noise because of that. That will LeBron James ask for a trade before Thursday? LeBron, the media, they're not stupid, so they're able to make easy clickbait out of this. This is my take. He makes the Twitter comment that he did. I just feel like the Knicks being, they were hot entering yesterday, and they were the talk of the NBA. The Lakers were entering Madison Square Garden. LeBron coming to the Garden he's a marketable player. The Knicks are a marketable organization. Deadline's Thursday. So I think it was just clickbaity shit. I think it maybe, with the attention, LeBron's kind of trying to put pressure on Pelinka and the Lakers executives to make a move for the damn guy before the deadline. That might very well be part of it too. But I also think Leon Rose is not dumb. So even if there is truth to LeBron wanting to come to the Knicks, he wore Knicks sneakers to the game last night. If anyone can, even if there's truth to all that, I don't think Leon's doing that. I feel like the same old Knicks type of move, just to do a move for the headlines. LeBron had his chance years ago. I think you do it right now, you risk ruining the positive direction of where this team is headed right now. They got good chemistry. It's very 2K type move. It's like a 17-year-old Twitter Knicks fan would do something like this. I don't think Leon's going to give up assets for a probable free agent. He's probably going to explore the market this summer. And Rich Paul did already say that LeBron's not being traded, so I would take that with a grain of salt if you want, but I don't think I could if I were a betting man, and I am a degenerate, I would bet that he's going to be with the Lakers Thursday night. So, that's it there. And that's it for the show. Knicks lose. Poor spacing is kind of the key to me in this game. Inability to stop or score on AD, and an inability to help out Brunson. Had a very difficult time getting looks because of the way the Lakers schemed him, and they didn't figure anything out. No, the Knicks were playing with 4 fucking reserves last night. When everybody's healthy, this is less of an issue. I wish that Josh Hart, he's going to play 30-plus minutes healthy or not. I kind of wish Tibbs would sometimes sacrifice defense for offense and shooting. But you know how he rolls. In games like this, I understand it. But, sometimes I would trust Grimes or Dante to play 3 and defend wings. And you can still keep Hart at 4. But Tibbs doesn't see it that way. It's frustrating. So hopefully we can take care of the Memphis Grizzlies, who are a terrible team, on Tuesday. As I'm recording it Sunday night. And then after that, I'm going to the Garden on Thursday to watch the Knicks take on the Dallas Mavericks, who come to town. And I don't know what their health situation is. I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. Every time I look, I feel like Luka or Kyrie is sitting. They're never playing together, but they're not that good of a team either. But I would like the Knicks to win that game. I would love for the Knicks to win that game. I've gone to the Garden a few times, and I think the last time I went, they lost. So let's win. Excuse me. So with that said, we're going to head to our final break here on the show. Get back and wrap it up with our trivia. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
If you have time in the day or maybe just prefer old-fashioned reading over listening, then you can always follow along and subscribe to BD4 Blog by going to BD4blog.com. We're not on there as often, but when we do post, it's just as entertaining, opinionated, and passionate as we are on this podcast. Thank you so much. And let's keep on with the show.
Studio 69 Productions is a podcast production agency created by Leo Rodriguez to allow content creators to market their podcast. It's an online platform that will market your podcast or any other project that you're working on. Get in touch with Leo Rodriguez from Studio 69 Productions. You can find Studio 69 Productions on Instagram at Studio69NJ. Studio 69 Productions, where dreams are heard and born. All right, welcome back to the show. Episode 622 of BD4. I'm your host, RJ Carbone. And let's wrap this thing up with our trivia. All right, so for this episode 622, true or false? LeBron James' career win percentage against the Knicks is 700 or better. Is that true or false? Let me know the answer. LeBron James' career win percentage against the Knicks is 700 or better. Let me know the answer, true or false. That's it. Appreciate you all tuning in. Episode 622 is in the books. Shorter episode, didn't talk about much, but we talked about what I thought was the most important theme of the game and will be one of the most important themes going forward for the Knicks this season, how they can maneuver these hard lineups and lineups where he's paired with other non-shooters and get the best out of the Knicks in the half court. We'll see. That's it. Later. This episode was brought to you by Anchor.
Hey there! If you stayed the entire way through, we thank you immensely for it. We hope you enjoyed this podcast and that you come back for the next episode real soon. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, download these episodes, and share them with your friends as well. BD4 is a 5-star podcast simply because of you, and we'd like to keep it that way. Have a wonderful day. Go Yankees, and go Knicks!